welcome to this week's video. For this week, I'm going to be doing my book haul for the month of May. These are some books that I wanted to show you guys off from my still TBR, not TBR, TBS, TB shown pile that I try to not add new books to, but the spirit is willing but the flesh is weak. So there is, I think that shelf is always going to be there, and it's always going to be full. I don't think that I'm going to be doing a wrap-up for this month, but I figured maybe you guys would want to see, because the book that I am reading right now is a big old tome, and it's Sally Bowman's Destiny. Now this is the book that I'm reading right now. I am about halfway through, and I know that I'm not going to be finished it towards the end of the month. And it is a book that I had read a very long time ago, and I had found it at the Evil Day job, and was very excited to get back into it and read it again and see if it still stood up. And I am enjoying my reread of it, but because I'm like invested in sort of in like that book right now, I'm not really going to have any other books on the list for the month. So what I thought that I would do, if you guys want to see it, is I'm not going to finish it by the end of the month, I won't, but I will do sort of a halfway point reading vlog of like how it's going so far, if you guys want to see that. I know that some people really like reading vlogs, and I haven't really done that on my channel, because for the most part I would just, review the books that I read at the end of the month for you guys, but there isn't going to be one for this month. And I figured, since I had a few times where I don't have books to show you guys for the month, if I've been like in a reading slump or what have you, but I figured since I don't want to leave you guys without something for the month of like what I've read, that maybe I would do that, a reading vlog of how Destiny by Sally Bowman is going. So that will probably be up in a week or two, and it'll just be how it's going so far, because I'm at the sort of halfway point, and I know that I'm not going to be able to finish it at the end of the month. But for this video, I'm going to be showing you some books, and we will be doing the winner of April's book haul, and we will be showing off what we are giving away for this week. So let's start with the winner of April's book haul. And the winner of that, I should have had that one higher on the pile to show you guys. The giveaway for last month was Karen Hawkins' Caught by the Scot. And so thank you for everybody who entered, and those of you who subscribed, because that was the way to be entered, was you commented that you wanted to be entered and that you subscribed. So thank you to everyone who did. And now we will, with the lovely giveaway box that my sister Julia LeBlanc, Oshie of the Fantastic Outlander videos, bought me a few years back for either a birthday or Christmas. We will be using that to pick our winner. Here we go. Da-da-da. The winner of Karen Hawkins' Caught by the Scot is Amy Rose 22. So thank you so much, Amy, for being a regular watcher of my videos. It's very, very much appreciated, and thank you for every time you comment, and thank you for being a subscriber from way back. And yeah, I always appreciate your comments, and yeah, so I'm just going to need you to message me your mailing address. If there's any issue with like messaging me on here, because I know YouTube can be a little odd about like how to private message people, let me know, and I will you can email it to me, and I'll put my email address if there's any issue private messaging me on here on YouTube, your mailing address, and I will get the book out to you ASAP. And there will be a new giveaway this video, so stay tuned for that. Let me just put the box on the side there, and let's get into the book haul, shall we? For the first book, we have one Harlequin Presents in this haul. We have one, and it is Kathy Williams' A Deal with Decapua. And let's read the back blurb for you. Behind Rosie Tom's angelic face and sinfully delicious body, Angelo Decapua, I want to say DiCaprio, Decapua knows there's a deceitful gold digger. Of course there is. But his late wife has left Rosie a cottage on his country estate, and if she wants to stay, she'll have to make a deal with the devil. Rosie must accept her ex-lover's offer to save her struggling business. But while she longs for his touch, she can't trust the man who betrayed her by marrying her best friend. If her resolve fails, she will lose more than her worldly possessions. She will lose her heart to Decapua again. So that's A Deal with Decapua. Forward to that. The next one is Jill Paul's The Secret Wife. Beautiful cover. Oh. 1914. I'm in already. Russia is on the brink of collapse. Oh, jeez, Russia. And the Romanov family faces a terrifying, uncertain future. Grand Duchess Tatiana has fallen in love with cavalry officer Dmitri, but events take a catastrophic turn, placing their romance and their lives in danger. 2016. Following a devastating revelation, Londoner Kitty Fisher flees her marriage and her home and escapes to her great-grandfather's cabin on the remote shores of Lake Akanabi, New York State. There she discovers the spectacular jeweled pendant that will lead her to an extraordinary, long-buried family secret. And you know that I am all about those, y'all. Love, love, love those so much. Bring me the epic family secrets. Next one is By Private Invitation by Stephanie Julian. And that is a beautiful cover as well. Antiques dealer Annabelle Elder's life is nowhere near as passionate as the erotic art she collects. A cheating ex-boyfriend and her business have seen to that. So when she attends a New Year's Eve party at Haven Hotel, she sees a chance to blow off some steam. But she never expected to meet anyone like Jared, or to experience such passion in his arms. Handsome, rich, and charming as hell, Jared Golden brought his Midas touch to Haven Hotel and created an anything-goes pleasure palace to cater to his special friends and their very special desires. After falling in lust with Annabelle at first sight, seducing her was easier than he expected. What he didn't expect was to be seduced in turn. But unrestrained passion in bedroom is not the only spark between Annabelle and Jared. Their mutual attraction is confounded by their separate pasts. Caught in an ever-growing web of painful secrets and sensual fantasy, will they be able to face the truth about themselves and trust in true love? Definitely an erotic romance. Looking forward to that. Next we have a classic, a controversial classic, but a classic nonetheless. Kathleen E. Woodowiss's Shayna. Now, I know there are some people who have their issues with her books, Flame the Flower, this one, and I know that she's written many others. Well, she passed away now, but I believe she's passed away. But yeah, I am all about the epic historical romance, the crazy sauce. Bring it on. And I know some people have done reading vlogs for The Flame and the Flower, and I'm sure there's ones for this as well. I might do one of those for when I do like The Flame and the Flower. I might do one of those for these. If you guys would want to see that, let me know, because that might be fun. Or I might just review it in a book haul when I get to in a book wrap up when I get to it. But is there a blurb for it? Little blurb. A woman, Shayna, or Shanna? Is it Shanna or Shayna? We're going to call her Shayna. A woman of surging desires of the spirit, the flesh, and the heart. Ruark. R-U-A-R-K. A man burning to possess her in vengeance and ecstasy. Shayna. A romance of passion beyond wildest dreams. So, doesn't tell me too much what it's about, but 1977, the year I was born, y'all. So I am expecting pure craziness, just crazy sauce, because 80s and 70s in romance, definitely the era of the crazy sauce. So looking forward to reading this one. Next we have Claras War by Clara Kramer. This one is a nonfiction set during World War II. After the Nazis reached the small... Did I show the cover? Yeah, there you go. After the Nazis reached the small Polish town of Zolkiew, Zolkiew, life for Jewish teenager Clara Kramer was never the same again. While their relatives, friends, and neighbors were either slaughtered or deported, the Kramers and 2 other families hid in a hand-dug cellar. Living above them were the Becks. Life under the protection of Mr. Beck, a hard-drinking, philandering, self-professed anti-Semite, was anything but predictable. From his nightly drinking sessions with the SS in the room above their bunker to his not-so-private affair with Clara's cousin, it seemed that the families had as much to fear from Beck as they did from the war. Yet he risked his life every day to keep his charges safe. 80 years later, Clara has written an extraordinary account of that terrifying time. Claras War is lyrical, dramatic, and despite the worst circumstances, a true story of hope and survival. So that is really interesting. I'm very interested to know about what the deal is with this Mr. Beck, who's an anti-Semitic drunk who yet risked his life to keep them safe and hidden from the Nazis. Very interesting to see what that is all about. So it's sort of in the same kind of vein of The Diary of Anne Frank, which I also have up there to be shown to you guys eventually when I get to that pile. Next we have Julie Oringer's The Invisible Bridge. And there's a little bit of an insert cover. There we go. Paris, 1937. Andras Levi, a Hungarian Jewish architecture student, arrives from Budapest with a scholarship, a single suitcase, and a mysterious letter he has promised to deliver. But when he falls into a complicated relationship with the letter's recipient, he becomes privy to a secret that will alter the course of his and his family's history. From the small Hungarian town of Konyar to the grand opera houses of Budapest and Paris, from the despair of the Carpathian winter to the unimaginable life in labor camps. The Invisible Bridge tells the story of a family shattered and remade in history's darkest hour. So another set during World War II novel. Very much looking forward to that. Next is J.D. Robb's Vendetta in Depth. Ow. 1 second. Okay. J.D. Robb's Vendetta In Depth. And I am making my way through the in-depth books. And again, I am not so much for the romantic suspense. The reason that I love the Vendetta books is Eve and Rourke's relationship, and the relationship of Eve and with her friends and the different characters. So not so much for the suspense. I tend to skim those bits. I'm sorry, but I do. And this, I'm not sure where this falls in the more than 40 books in the series, but yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot in between. So I won't be reading this one anytime soon, but I have it for the list. I have it for when I get to it in the series. And I always do, I always pick up any in-depth books that I don't have already, so that when I get to them in the series, I don't have to wait. She calls herself Lady Justice. Like an avenging superhero, her disguises vary. A tall blonde or a curvaceous redhead, whatever it takes to lure the men she targets, men who have done women wrong. Once they are in her grasp, they are powerless. The first victim is wealthy businessman Nigel McEnroy. By day he runs a successful headhunting firm, but when his wife is away, he engages in another kind of hunt. His company's human resources department has already paid out settlements to a couple of his young victims, but they don't know that his crimes go far beyond workplace harassment. Lady Justice knows, and in one shocking night of brutality, she makes him pay a much steeper price. I know that she's the criminal in here, but I kind of like her. I like her already. Now, Eve Dallas and her husband, Rourke, are combining through evidence... Excuse me. Now, Eve Dallas and her husband, Rourke, are combing through the evidence of McEnroy's secret life. His compulsive need to record his misdeeds, idiot, provides them with a wide range of suspects, but the true identity of Lady Justice remains elusive, and thanks to McEnroy's multiple residences and extensive business travel, they must cast their net outside New York as well. It's a challenging case, but made even more difficult by McEnroy's widow, who reacts to the investigation with fury, denial, and threats. Oh, she seems like a joy. Meanwhile, Lady Justice's criminal crusade is escalating rapidly, and if Eve can't stop this vigilante, there's no telling how much blood may be spilled. I know that there's the whole, you can't take the law into your own hands, yada yada yada. But if the law's not doing its job, I'm not mad about it. So, I think I'm going to be on Lady Justice's side in this one. We shall see. Next, we have the big old tome, however you pronounce it, Caribbean, by James A. Michener. Now, I like to sort of make my way through James A. Michener's books, because he's kind of like Edward Rutherford for me, in the sense that he does the same sort of books. He'll take a country or a location and through fictional storytelling go through the history of that place. But again, they are very big damn books. and I like big books, but with like romances and like that kind of stuff, it's kind of easier for me to sort of like get through them and like buzz through them somewhat quickly. With like big kind of like historical fiction like this, I sort of like using these as like my nighttime reads, where I read like a little bit every night. So these ones, the reviews and like wrap-ups for these will be like further on down the line, as my nighttime read right now is actually Diana Gabaldon's Go Tell the Bees That I'm Gone. The reason that is because while it is a historical fiction, I really want to savor that book, because I know that it's going to be a while before book 10 comes out, so I don't want to speed through it, and I want to read like a little bit of it like every night. So that's my nighttime read, and this will definitely be a nighttime read as well. So let's read the burglaries. Okay. First, let me take a drink of water. Because I need water. Okay. Let's read the word for it, shall we? The lush islands of the Caribbean have always possessed a special allure, as colonial treasures in days gone by, as vacation retreats today. Beginning with the tribal conflicts on the island of Dominica, Caribbean sweeps on to tell the arrival of Columbus and the establishment of Spanish control and of the English campaign to wrest power away. Then on to the great days of the Buccaneers, the rise of the Jamaican sugar plantations, the bloody slave revolt of 1800 on Haiti, the eventual freedom from slavery throughout the islands, moving up to the problems of the present day. Let me see when this was published. Present day. Oish. Present day, when this was written, was 1989. So, that's still history, and present day hasn't gotten much better. Through Mr. Missioner's unequaled gifts of characterization, great historical events are portrayed with stirring human drama. A Spanish grandee and the indefatigable English sea dog Sir Francis Drake battle for decades for the treasures of the New World. Landowners on Barbados are driven apart by the execution half a world away of King Charles I. The guillotine's long shadow falls on aristocratic lovers on Guadeloupe, I think is spelled differently. A Detroit journalist becomes involved in the cross-currents of intrigue in the pre-World War II Caribbean, damn it, I can say the word. A British civil servant and a Rastafarian vie for the heart and mind of a beautiful islander. A contemporary black academic exploring her Haitian roots steps into the ancient world where zombies walk. Prominent Miami emigres return to Cuba on a secret mission which could destroy them. Caribbean blends James A. Missioner's superb command of history with his outstanding talent for storytelling, as fictional and historic characters come vividly to life in a thrilling novel by a master writing at the peak of his powers. And there's maps. There's maps, y'all. And there's whoosh, maps on the back too. There we go. So that's a big old book, and I look forward to getting through it, because I love my big historical fiction tomes, as the next book will prove. It is New York by Edward Rutherford. So very, very excited to read this one, as one of my favorite movies is Gangs of New York by Martin Scorsese, with Leonardo DiCaprio and Cameron Diaz in one of the movies that I thoroughly enjoy her in. Not really the biggest fan, like, sort of her movies, but this one I thought she was absolutely phenomenal in. And, oh, excuse me, Daniel Day-Lewis. We must bow. We must bow. But yeah, that's one of my favorite movies, and it explores the history of New York and the gangs of the 1800s. So, okay. The novel begins with a tiny Indian fishing village on the forested island of Manhattan. As Dutch traders arrive from across the ocean seeking to carve out their fortunes amid the splendor of the wilderness. In a global war for imperial dominance, British settlers, always freaking British, and merchants arrived as conquerors, bringing aristocratic governors and their unpopular taxation, which led to rebellion, war, and the birth of the United States. From the very beginning, New York has been central to the great events of American history. Rutherford tells this irresistible story through the interwoven tales of families rich and poor, black and white, native-born and immigrant, a cast of fictional and true characters whose fates rise and fall and rise with the city's fortunes. From this intimate perspective, we see the Revolutionary War, the emergence of the city as a great trading and financial center, the convulsions of the Civil War, the excesses of the Gilded Age, the explosion of immigration in the late 19th and early 20th centuries, the trials of World War II, the near demise of New York in the 70s, and its roaring rebirth in the 1990s, and the attacks on the World Trade Center. Greed and corruption have always been the companions of hopes and dreams in New York's teeming streets. Deals were struck, politicians corrupted, men bought or assassinated, heiresses wooed. Fortunes were amassed on Wall Street, and men became rich beyond the dreams of avarice. The heady seesaw of wealth and poverty was seen in the roaring 20s and the Great Crash, the city's future symbolized by its buildings that literally soared toward the sky, the Empire State Building, the Chrysler Building, the Twin Towers. Here is the story of how in 4 centuries New York became the envy of the world, the Big Apple, sometimes loved, sometimes hated, until those who envied it most sought vainly to destroy it. A stirring mix of battle, romance, family struggles, and personal triumphs. New York, the novel, gloriously captures the search for freedom and opportunity at the heart of America's history. So, looking forward to that. This, again, will also definitely be a nighttime read. Because that's how I sort of like reading my historical fiction, is sort of like a little bit at a time. And lastly, we have The Distant Hours by Kate Morton. And the cover for that. And she is the author of The Forgotten Garden, which I thoroughly enjoyed, even if I was not overly happy with the ending. But I loved that book, except for the ending. So, Edie is an only child of respectable if dull parents who, when she was growing up, did little to nurture her natural love of words or mystery. But now a letter that should have been delivered 50 years earlier arrives for her mother and sends Edie on a journey into the past. It takes her to Mildhurst Castle, a great but moldering old house in Kent, where the Blythe spinsters live, and where she discovers her mother was billeted as a 13-year-old child during World War II. The elder Blythe sisters are twins and have spent most of their lives looking after the third and younger sister, Juniper, who hasn't been the same since her fiancé jilted her in 1941. Inside the decaying castle, Edie begins to unravel her mother's past, but there are other secrets hidden in the stones of Mildhurst. The truth of what happened in the distant hours of the past has been waiting a long time for someone to find it. Morton pays homage to the classics of Gothic fiction, spinning an intricate web of mystery and suspense, that will stay with the reader long after the last page. So that, oh, she's from Australia. I did not know that. And that's the author. I had no idea she was so young. She writes like fantastic sort of lyrical, melodramatic, epic, crazy sauce. And this one, well, I'm guessing this one was after The Forgotten Garden, because it's saying from the best-selling author of The Forgotten Garden. This one was from 2010. Family secrets, epic, crazy, melodramatic sauce, I'm so here for, and I'm very much looking forward to this one. Hopefully I will enjoy the ending to this one a little better than I enjoyed the ending to The Forgotten Garden, which I did not. So that is my book haul for this month. Now let us get to this month's giveaway. For this month's giveaway, I have a wee bit of a classic. I adore this movie to pieces, and I hope that you will enjoy the book that the movie is based on. And it is William Goldman's The Princess Bride. Now, I look at that. I love that movie so much. So the blurb. Is that the blurb? Kind of. There's like a different kind of story, little blurb inside, but I want to read you guys this back. What happens when the most beautiful girl in the world marries the handsomest prince in the world, and he turns out to be a son of a gun? And the sort of inside little blurb is, as a boy, William Goldman claims he loved to hear his father read the S. Morgenstern classic, The Princess Bride. But as a grown-up, he discovered that the boring parts were left out of good old Dad's recitations, and only the good parts reached his ears. Now Goldman does Dad one better. He's reconstructed the good parts version to delight wise kids and wide-eyed grown-ups everywhere. What's it about? Fencing, fighting, true love, strong hate, harsh revenge, few giants, lots of bad men, lots of good men, 5 or 6 beautiful women, beasties monstrous and gentle, some swell escapes and captures, death, lies, truth, miracles, and a little sex. In short, it's about everything. So, if you would like to be entered to win The Princess Bride, all you have to do is leave a comment that you want to win, that you'd like to be entered, and like the video. That's it. Just comment and like, and you'll be entered to win, and I'll draw the winner in June's book haul. And yeah, so that's all you need to do. Just like and comment, because it really helps with the YouTube algorithm. The engagement part of this really helps the YouTube algorithm, and it lets people know that you guys like my videos and want to see my videos, and so that pushes it up in the search results, and so that would help me a lot. So that's it. Just like, comment that you want to be entered, and like the video. So that's going to be it for this week's video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Like my video, comment, and you'll be entered to win the giveaway. Follow me on Twitter at twitter.com/authorejamie. Like my Facebook page at facebook.com/authorejamie. And I will talk to you guys next time. Bye!